Yes, sir. We back with another sick podcast, Anvil Show. This should be an interesting one. Very, very exciting stuff. We're gonna recap our day at camp, talk about meeting Chris Ballard again. He christened the RV, all kind of good things, and then of course, we'll talk about Mr. Jonathan Taylor. But before all that, Sammy, go ahead and bang that.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Sammy, go ahead and bring the boys in, please.
What's happening, brothers?
First off, who's breathing like they actually need a nasal cannula?
Probably me right now.
You came on.
I'm stepping and fetching, just trying to get everything set up, brother.
What's up, country? Nope. Microphone check.
What's going on, dog?
Okay, there you go. All right, man. Come on.
I'm sure Pete. I think Pete's still hyperventilating from being on cloud 9 all week.
What a week. Man.
I'm still up there.
All right.
That's the gummies.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
So while we got you, we got to get better at doing this. All right. So while we got you, all right, please go ahead and like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, smash the button, notifications, hit us up on Instagram. People have Twitters. We also have a sick podcast Twitter. I don't think that's what it's called though. It's called sick podcast Twitter.
It's down below, y'all. It's down below. Just look down there.
Not Twitter. Is Twitter down there? I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it's right there. It's
Sick
right
podcast.
there.
Sick
God,
podcast Colts.
Ooh,
Come
sick
on.
pod Colts. I don't know. I
Give
didn't
yourself an Omaha for that one, dog.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. Well, damn.
Can't even get your damn socials right. Then again, you're on a 4-day hangover, so
Ooh.
understand.
You know, hey,
You got to sober up to get hung over.
first off, all right, we don't tell trade secrets. That was something that I entrusted y'all in the backstage. Why you bringing that to the front?
Because I was
Yeah.
quite drunk with you, and it's okay.
Absolutely. I had a time.
Leave the fat guy out. Thanks. Appreciate it, boys.
Well, you're still
Oh.
banned last season, so we will slowly open the door for you.
Damn.
Fuck that. Keep that damn door closed. I don't want to go through that door ever again.
Big facts. That was Jesus Christ.
I got so tore up. I don't even remember nothing of that Tennessee game last year.
and we're gonna keep it that way.
We're gonna leave
Publicly.
it that way. Okay, so football's back. How about that?
Starting tonight, baby. Or do you really call this a game, though?
Yeah, it started the preseason.
Do you really call it a game, though? Do you call a preseason game a game?
Listen
Oh.
here. You're a former player like I am. Our season always started in the summertime with 2 days and conditioning and all that shit. So therefore, football season started when camp started. In my opinion,
3 days.
I mean, I did too, but who's counting? Because I can't count anyway.
Me? Fucking hot out there for a fat boy.
Okay,
Fucking old
first
lineman. I
count.
swear to God.
it counts because it's officially like we're officially done with. There's no football. I mean, yeah, the players tonight are not the players that we're going to watch in a month, probably. But it doesn't matter. It just means that hey, the season has officially kicked off, and that, my friend, is a blessing. So
Yeah. What I read before the show was starting tonight, there will be a football game every week for 27 weeks starting tonight.
what a time to be alive.
Yay, the NFL.
All right, so here we go, man. Now let's go ahead and jump into our topic. So here we go. Smash that shit. We
What
into
the
it.
hell was that?
Yeah, it came in all bad.
What?
That wasn't no banging the bish. That was a tink tong tink.
What?
That's what it sounded like, didn't it, country?
It did.
Did it sound weird?
Yeah.
It did sound weird.
How about now? What?
Nope. It's even worse now.
I don't know what's going on. It sounds great over here.
It's all well. Bang it. There you go.
Anyway, into it.
No, don't worry. That's a good segue into saying Ballard actually banged it for us.
That sounds weird. First off, Omaha yourself. All of that.
Get your head out of the fucking gutter,
I
man.
know, at some point in that sentence, you was thinking to yourself, I should just shut up right now. Stop saying what I'm saying.
I was actually
But you kept
sincere with my
going, didn't
words. I was sincere with my fucking words. Thank you.
That was fucking crazy right now. What he's trying to say.
As he wipes his lips.
We got to hang out with Chris Ballard. So we had an exclusive interview that's out there on YouTube. And I think we actually put it on Facebook as well. But we had an exclusive interview. And then after the interview, super cool, because what we've been hiding for a couple months is the fact
And it
that
has not been easy, let me tell
can
you.
I fucking talk?
Yes, I ain't stopping you.
Just kidding.
God, he's a rude fucker,
Look,
man.
I want to just go like this. This is when you guys get the cue. Now I've lost my train of thought. Okay, here we go. Back into it. Take 2. All right. So what we've been hiding for a couple of months was that a great friend of the show, Mr. Adam J, blessed us with a whole RV, right? And so, yes, it needed some TLC and it still needs a little TLC, but old Uncle Fester over there has done an amazing job in secret. Painting, putting flooring in. I mean, this dude has been working his tail off, putting up walls, a little bit of interior decorating. So we're
Tires, curtains.
Okay, all right, slow down. But anywho, so we got to unveil this, right? And I wish we had clips of this, but we got to unveil this at the media day that we went to last Saturday. And we drove this thing up, and you would have thought we were like official Colts people, because people were looking at the in awe, clapping and cheering and wanting us to blow
Cameras out everywhere.
Videos. It was crazy. And no, we're not trying to like toot our own horn, but it was super, super cool. So
Yeah, we are.
after that, what did he do? He christened the RV. Like, no kidding. We set up the anvil, had the pedestal, the whole thing. The man came out there, did some impromptu blessings, and then smashed it with a freaking champagne bottle. Something we'll never forget, man, with the freaking GM of the Colts. So with that, we're just going to give a round of applause to all of us for where we've been and where we're going.
That's not coming clear.
Yeah, your soundboard's junk tonight.
What did it sound like? What did that sound like?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I could hear Acosta clapping more than I could hear your soundboard.
I just heard. Eh.
What the hell did you hear?
Apparently his Pornhub link. I don't fucking know.
Hey, they're gonna have to start paying advertising fees on the show.
Y'all.
We keep mentioning their name.
I love you.
First off, stop. Anywho, so let's just stay on track, man. What the hell, bro? We are doing something here. Y'all acting like, you know what? It's fine. Let's just talk about what we witnessed and what we think about the team. Because Pat, you've been to how many practices now?
4.
All right. At Country, did you only go to the 1, 2?
Yeah, and I'm going to Sunday's practice this week.
All right, cool. So have you seen them in pads yet?
I have not.
Okay, so you went before pads. All right, cool. So anyway, we'll start with you. You've seen the most, and then we'll chime in. So what do you think so far about the boys in blue?
Defense, very fast, very together, very scary. Defense is looking great, but it should be expected. You know, same DC, a lot of the same players, few additional new pieces, but yeah, it looked pretty good. as far as our shiny new quarterback. 7-on-7, 11-on-11s. He looked good, but there was no serious pass rushing, if you will. And from what I've been seeing, like over Twitter and things like that, people are already down in this kid because he's only got like a 54, 56% completion rate and training camp. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people, give this kid a break. It's his first training camp. It's the first week of training camp. And you expect him to be dropping dimes 100%. It doesn't happen that way with any quarterback, let alone a rookie.
I've seen clips in pads, the last couple of days where he's hitting them, killing it.
He's hitting them, but people are sticking to their guns about this, the pass percentage.
Bro, I don't like
here the last couple of days. I know I'm telling you, they're really starting to pound on this kid for no reason. It's been 1 week of camp. They ain't even been in pads yet.
Well, I mean,
cut the kid some slack.
I don't even care about that. I ain't got to cut them nothing. They don't have to cut them anything. They deserve that, right? But what they need to understand is more so than his passing completion and percentage, and that's what I'm starting to do myself, is think about what he's going to create just being the athlete that he is, right? Like, so, and I use that to basically segue into the fact that as great as Andrew Luck was, his passing completions at times was shit. Andrew Luck was all like his rookie year, bro. He was all over the place, right? Like, but then because he was his own version of athletic and he had a big, strong upper body and could run guys over, that made up for some shitty passing. So that's what I'm kind of looking at in this situation. Like, it'd be one thing if the kid was, and I'm not trying to be funny, but Zach Wilson, right? Meaning like he's not a supreme athlete. He doesn't have this crazy build. So literally your arm better be decent or you're going to be a TV analyst. You see what I'm saying? This is the difference now. We're dealing with a kid that even if he comes out and he's like, oh, well, he's not that great passing. Let's look at his all-around game. He's still going to create plays with his feet. He's going to probably have, if they really utilize him like Jalen Hurts, he's going to have probably 10 touchdowns with his legs. I mean, I don't know how much we plan to run him, but he'll probably have 500-600 yards, if not more, with his legs. And there'll be plays that he'll make where he scramble around, creates time by himself, and makes a great pass. So there's going to be way more to look at than just the metrics that we're used to. So damn his pass completion in week 1 training camp.
That's what I'm saying. Relax, people. Relax. He'll get it. This is the time for him to make these mistakes because they film everything. He's going to make these mistakes in camp. They're going to go back into the film room, and the coach is going to coach him up. This is when you want him to make a mistake. You don't want him making them on Sundays. So be happy that he's making these mistakes because the mistakes he's making are coachable. They're fixable, and this is the time to make them.
All right, so here's the deal. So Andrew Luck, his career completion percentage is 60.8. 60.8. Now you think about Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and stuff like that. Peyton Manning, I think career percentage is mid-60s. Drew Brees is like almost 70%. It's nuts. But then, like I said, I was utilizing Andrew in 2012 rookie year, 54.1 for the season. For the whole season. 4,374 yards, 23 touchdowns, 18 picks. Okay. And then he had another subpar year in 2015. Now he only played 7 games, but before he went out, he was at 55%. His last season, which we didn't know at that time, was 67.3. Like that was his career best, right? Like he was killing it in his last season that we didn't know was his last season. But that's what I'm saying. So career-wise, Andrew Luck is only 60%. And we love him and we talk about him. We would still be talking about him if he was still, a Colt. So again, completion percentage, super important. I get it. But think about what the player can do. See what I'm saying? Just my thoughts on that. Go ahead, Country. I didn't mean to steal your show. Still your shot.
Just a segue about that. I just want to remind all the Colts fans out there that our legendary Colt Peyton Manning Hall of Famer, who we loved even more than probably Andrew Luck, has the rookie record for interceptions. Just saying. Y'all got to remember that.
26 of them things.
20 fucking 6. So
Yeah. No, I'm
keep
lying.
that in mind.
28. I think he had remember he had 20. He had 26 touchdowns, 28 picks. 28 picks.
That's right. That's right.
Fact check
Had it
myself.
backwards.
It's
Yeah, that's
definitely
right.
it was definitely ugly.
But y'all. Plus all the fans out there are used to all these veteran quarterbacks coming in here. We expect high things from Phillip Rivers, from Matt Ryan, from a Carson. Well, not. Man, that's debatable. But Carson Wentz being a veteran, we figured he would come in, under Frank Reich, being a better quarterback than what he had been over the last couple of years. So, but yeah, definitely cut the kid some slack. I mean, he's doing what he's doing. He's doing it great. He's progressing like Big P said. You're not going to go in there and fix the mistakes. You want these mistakes to happen. Now, when he said that, I actually remembered last year when we were talking about camp. You want them to make the mistakes this year. You want them to at this time of the season, because now's the time to fix it. Really take your time to fix it. Concentrate on it. Learn from your mistakes and move on. Because, just consistency. That's what Shane Steichen's all about right now. He wants consistency, and that's what we're seeing with Anthony Richardson, regardless of his pass percentage and blah, 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 blah. We're seeing consistency on the offensive side of the ball. When we talk to Chris, O-line is getting better. There's just consistency around the board. So that's what I want to see. And that's what I seen at camp when we were there. So good stuff ahead.
Yeah, Peyton had 28. Yeah, it was definitely 28 picks. And by the way, we were 3-13, and he completed at a 56.7% clip. Also, shit. So, given our last two generational talents, I think they turned out to be okay after throwing pretty crappy year one, right? So we'll see how it goes, right? We really will. Now, what I seen, everything you guys seen, of course, but I really try to work, the finer things, the things that people are missing. And one thing I got to do in doing the media, which I haven't done my work yet, so I apologize. I haven't clipped the Chad Kelly, the Ryan Kelly clip, and the Rain Man clip that I did, where I got to ask him a few questions during our interview. And so what I'm getting at is I got to witness a team that honestly seems happy and looking optimistic for what could be. You know what I mean? Like they seem like they're like last year was an anomaly, right? Like, holy crap, we stunk last year. Okay, let's not talk about it no more. Let's put it behind us. Let's start working toward the future. And that's what I was really picking up being out on the field and just watching them, like, push each other during drills, and the energy was high like the entire time we were out there. And I was like, okay, I get this. They're probably excited to be here, but at the same time, like, you can tell that they all want to get better. You can tell that they all are very, excited to be playing for Shane and, optimistic. The name that I kept hearing the most is Tony, what's his name? Sperano. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
The O-line coach. What he's doing as far as just rejuvenating these boys. Now, remember, we had a good one the year that we were like running over people with Marlon Mack. We had a really good one, and we know what happened in that situation. I mean, they ended up letting him go because of some personal stuff that happened. But that coach also had the boys fired up. So it was good to see the hog mollies, if you will, excited to like get back to wrecking shit. So I'm excited for that. And I think Chris Ballard, we had the opportunity to ask him, about the line, and he kind of was like saying the same thing, like, they can play better. Last year, they know that they wasn't their best. There was injuries. He's like, no excuses, but they have a reputation. And he's like, I think I got 3 of the best linemen in the game, and they're all on one line. So that's the standard, you know what I mean? And so I respect that. I respect that heavily.
Absolutely.
But while we have Sammy and we're talking about Ballard before we get out of here, can you play the christening clip, Sammy? Can you cue that?
Great luck in a future Super Bowl with the Colts.
Amen.
Oh, that'll always put a smile on my face.
That's a 3-shot.
I love
That's
it.
a 3-shot.
Oh,
Now
wow.
I'm just saying, man. Like, come on, bro. That is the GM. Who gets to kick it with the GM? That's an honor, man. That's a privilege.
We do, baby.
And I mean, I'm telling you, we were all on cloud 9, like hanging with him. He's just a normal guy, regular guy, loves football, loves his family, and he damn sure loves when people are out there supporting the team. And so I think we are definitely in his good graces and going forward. Hope to have more opportunities with Mr. Ballard. But yeah, man, that was the interview, and then that, bro, that was top notch. That was some good stuff.
I know his liaison was probably ready to have an aneurysm though toward the end of all that.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about Patrick real quick. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. So we do the interview. We're running just a tad, over, and he's like, "Hey, man, do we still got time to do the RV christening?" And then Matt is like, "I don't know, man. We might not." And he's like, "No." Chris is like, "No, we got it. We'll do it." So what he's telling Pat now, he's like, "All right, man. Well, are we sure that we can contain this? Because I don't want to have glass out in the parking lot and da 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 da." Pat's like, "Oh yeah, I got this champagne bag that catches all the glass. It won't be a drop of glass on there.
Not a drop.
Not a piece of glass on there.
Yeah,
but as you saw,
not a shard.
Not a shard, bro. Chris smashed the damn bottle.
The bottle, the bag, he did in the anvil, everything.
His greens fit everywhere. And if you can see, like, he calls him his handler, but Matt, who is like, like he brings Chris Ballard here, there, everywhere. His face instantly just turned into like pure like anger, like I'm gonna kill Patrick.
Oh yeah, he said
I could hear it too. Patrick.
It was glass everywhere. So what we found out about the Anvil crew is we are absolute parking lot attendants. We can find any piece of glass. If you lose something during a tailgate, call us over there. We'll find it for you. If you lose an earring or something like that, I guarantee you can find
people to pick up glass.
Bro, I think we got every piece of glass that bottle exploded into. We found it.
Absolutely.
That was hilarious.
And I sent him pictures of the entire area, proving that we had everything cleaned up.
That's hilarious.
And he just put, "Thank you so much."
It won't be one piece of glass down there.
I mean, if you listen closely in that video, because you can see Chris look over at Matt, and Matt's face, it's just, I don't even know. Like, I didn't see Matt's face. I was too busy. But Chris looked at him. He was just like, "It's okay. It's all right."
I think we can handle it. Our paychecks can take a little bit of glass. We'll be all right. All right, man. So so please go out to YouTube and or Facebook and watch our interview with Chris because it was a great one.
You know what? It really was. This is what, our fifth season we've gotten to interview Chris.
Yeah, and first in person.
Definitely the first in person and at camp. So that was a huge deal for me, because we started getting our media passes last year, and I'm looking at all these people from ESPN, The Athletic. They're setting up big tents. The Pat McAfee show goes out there, and they bring out their whole crew, and they get to interview all these people. And now it's our turn. Yeah, that was a huge deal for me.
Yeah, sitting there next to Ian Rappaport and everybody. It was crazy.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen him have as much fun in an interview than he did with us this last time. Man, we were smoking and joking the whole time. But serious topics, serious answers, but everybody was having a good time. Everybody was laughing. It was a great interview.
It really was. I mean, I also get the vibe when Chris is with us too. Like, he can kind of like just relax for a minute. He's really chill with us. He's really on board with us. He can be somewhat of himself a little bit with us. He knows we're not these media sharks that, all these other guys are out there trying to get all this information and all this other stuff. So I just noticed
throw an oddball question at him so they can get clickbait. Oh, Chris Ballard said this. Yeah, we don't pull that bullshit.
I can just tell
questions.
I can just tell by his demeanor when behind the table sitting there. You know, he was just relaxed. You know, he was slumped down the chair a little bit, had his legs crossed, just chilling. I mean, you can tell a lot about someone's body language, how they feel about something. And even though he was professional, like, you know, we had a lawnmower going back and forth behind us, and I know he was ready to stab that dude, but you know, he was very professional about it. So
if you don't want to watch the interview for the questions, watch the interview just for that lawnmower scene. It was friggin' hilarious.
It's great. All right, man. So yeah, go out and check that out, and definitely keep subscribing. I noticed that we have a few more, so we're growing a little bit. So keep that going. We like that energy. But let's go ahead and move into the next topic. And yes, oh yes, the one that everybody's probably wanting to hear our point of view on is this Jonathan Taylor situation. Oh my God. And that happened, honestly, right after we left. Right? Like
it did. It literally did.
Goodness gracious. Then the 24 hours after our interview were insane. It was insane. And you know, we would hear about the trade request, and then the following day, that's when they met at the bus. Well, sorry, the following day they met at the bus. And then that's when all the trade requests supposedly happened, even though they said Jonathan had asked for it days earlier. And they talked about, you know, being miles away on the contract. And then there was this whole, you know, maybe we'll do this NFI thing because his back. And then he responds like, hey, what back problem? I never had a back problem. I'm like, oh, here we go. And so the things that I was very going to much focus on tonight is communication between anyone is best done between those people themselves. I really wish, and I don't know what happened on the bus, but I really wish Jonathan Taylor would just meet Jim again with Chris, maybe the coach, just them four men. Nobody else. No freaking no agents, no handlers. And just talk it out, right? Like just I mean, I don't know what happened with Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson was really out of Baltimore, and now he's the second highest paid quarterback ever because old boy just got his money. But that was a fiasco that lasted all the way from middle of last year till basically April, right? May, whenever that happened. So things can be fixed. Right now, this is ugly, very ugly from what we know. But I just wish that they can figure out how to leave Twitter alone, stop posting shit. And then I know that's their jobs, but now people are starting to like put these. What does a trade request for Jonathan Taylor look like? I don't like that. I hate that. So let's just open the door for that. Pat, I'll start with you. Because I think Country's gonna be too passionate. He probably needs to get another beer before he goes.
And a gummy.
Reading his text messages over the last few days, he probably needs to. We're gonna let him go last. I'll start with you, Pat. How you feel about this whole JT situation?
It makes me question a couple of things because it was just a few months ago. JT came out and said, you know, I'm the one that put pen to paper. I still have a year to go. This thing will happen naturally. Then he gets a new agent, and now he's pissed off. So what happened to him saying, I'm the one that put pen to paper. I got a duty to the team. The team's got a duty to me. And this thing will, you know, work itself out naturally. Now, I'm not saying he's sitting out because he's on the PUP list. So technically he's not sitting out. But honest to God, what happened? From saying it's going to work itself out naturally, I'm committed to the team, I signed the contract, to I need more money right here, right now, or I'm not doing nothing. So that's a major question I have. And we know he's changed agents. Maybe it's his agent talking to his ear. There's just so many variables that we don't know and we'll probably never know. But these are the questions I'm asking. I still believe Chris when he says he's going to build the team from the draft and he's going to pay his guys that put in the work. JT's definitely put in the work.
Yeah.
JT has seen him pay his guys.
Back.
So why would he derail his original train of thought just because a new agent said, "Hey, let's do this, and I'll get you top of the market."
I think I know. Well, here's my feelings. So I honestly think that there's one or two things, right? I think the first thing was let's watch and see. And when every no kidding running back that was due an extension and or was potentially due just a deal didn't get it. Nobody. Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Eckler, nobody got an extension in the running back room. Then, okay, I believe the agent really started chomping at the bit. See, I told
So
you.
you think panic set
Okay,
into these guys?
so two things. So it was they didn't give us a number to even build from, meaning like nobody got a deal. So you be the guy that they build from, because why not? You led the league in rushing, 2 years ago. Everybody knows how explosive you are. Plus, you have things in your advantage that they don't. You're only 24 years old. Like, so the whole running backs start to get to their end at 28, 29, 30. You still got 6 years to dominate. So I feel like that's what started to get in his head because once nobody got extended, then they're like, well, we still are in this mystery world because the last real big deals were the extension that Derrick Henry got and then the extension that CMC got. You know what I mean? And then people say things like, well, a running back's not worth 16 million. Well, that's what CMC's money comes out to be on that 4-year deal. And I know he's more of a pass catcher and all that, but bro, it's not my paycheck, or it's not my, bill to write. But I'm saying it's not like the 16 million is something that's so foreign. So to me, if he's worth it, he's worth it. Now, how he gets it, when he gets it, that seems to be the point of contention. But I really think, like you said, perhaps maybe, a little panic set in because there was nothing to build from. I'm sure they were hoping that Saquon or Jacobs got extended. Now we got something to build off of, right? Like the agent has a number. And then that didn't happen. And then it was like, well, shit, let's be the first one to get it. Because Saquon's situation didn't even make sense. He was basically about to hold out and not show up. And then he ended up taking $1 more million on the franchise deal. So he got 11 million deal. I'm like, what? I mean, he was tagged for 10 and he was like, nope. Then they gave him 1 more and a few incentives. And then he's like, all right, I'm ready to do it. I was like, what?
Well, one thing that I read was that a lot of the disgruntledness come from the organization not even offering Jonathan anything yet. There was absolutely no offer on the table. They haven't even started the negotiation process. And from what I've read, that is part of the disgruntledness he has towards the organization. Hey, I'm your best offensive weapon, and we're not even in talks yet. What the hell?
But I think the other side of that is this though. Like, so if the idea was we're going to pay you next year, why talk about it now? Right? Like we're just going to talk about it for a whole year, right? And then with the unknown, and I hate to do this. I really, really hate to do this, but this is such a bad move, and I had to really listen to some other people's point of view. But this is such a bad move for JT, in my opinion, right now because of the injury. And I don't like to use injuries as this is why we can't pay you. But I'm like, bro, you basically had your worst season. If this was 21 going into 22, the Colts would have pie on their face. Like, you not gonna pay the dude that ran for 1860 and 20 total touchdowns and all this other shit. You're nuts. At 5.1 average, we would be looking crazy. But he just came off of missing 7 games, ankle surgery, all kind of stuff. So I'm like, I just don't understand the play. But I do, but I don't, is what I'm saying. So I guess he's now thinking like, because of that happened, this could be the other thing that did happen, the injury. Maybe I better secure this bag.
See, I understand the organization not starting the negotiations yet. But like you just said, I don't understand JT's move right now. Because any smart agent is going to tell him, no, coming off an injury year or subpar year, we need to go out, we need to ball out so we can get paid. So this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, no,
You're going to put a smile on your face and you're going to score as many damn TDs as you can. You're going to get as many yards as you can. And then there's nothing they can say about paying you. But now the Colts, the organization holds all the leverage to this, and they've got every fire point on their side.
Yeah. But country, jump in there because there's a lot of more shit I want to say. Because at first I was just gonna be, the upset fan. I think that's where I was for the couple days leading up to the show. I'm not that anymore. But country, go ahead, say your piece.
My piece is this. 1 second, actually.
You had to get started with one of those. Sorry,
I did. My piece is this. JT was fine, like Pat said. JT was fine up until he got this new agent. Okay. All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. This is going on. He's acting this way. He's acting that way. This is the Jonathan Taylor that a lot of us have not seen. The common denominator for me is his agent. To me, and it's not just his agent. It's agents around the league taking advantage of these young guys, telling them, like they said, false faith. I think that's how they put it. They're filling these kids' heads, they're brainwashing them for their own fucking greed. Thinking, even though JT is worth every bit of the money, no doubt about it. He's special. I'm not taking nothing away from the man. He's very special. But these agents see that too, and they see a payday. Especially younger agents starting to get their name out there. He got Shaquille. I mean, I'm pretty sure Shaquille's agent is the same as JT's agent, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
He got Shaquille a payday, right? Yep. So
sure did.
He's like, Jonathan Taylor being just as special, if not more special. I'm going to get you a payday, which means I'm going to get a payday. These agents are taking advantage of these kids, and I am seeing that just unfold beyond my eyes. Everybody wants to point the finger at Jim Irsay. It's not his fucking fault. First of all, it is not that man's fault.
Oh God,
it is not that man's fucking fault. The man's opinionated. He is opinionated. He has made some mistakes in the past. He's just opinionated. There's been statements saying that was not directed at Jonathan Taylor by any means necessary, but it took his piece of shit fucking agent to go on Twitter and backlash out against him, saying I doubt it and all this other fucking bullshit. If you want to act professional and rep these players and promise them all this and that, like you said, Clyde, it's hurting him. This agent is hurting whatever capital he just built. Now that he's got a dramatic agent, he's going out on Twitter and all these other media outlets speaking this bullshit. It's hurting JT in the long run. And JT's so caught up in this spiel of his agent that he's fighting back, and he doesn't know right now. He's so young and naive, and I mean that with the utmost respect. He's not seeing that. It's hurting him in the long run. This was not the JT that we knew. JT is a patient man. He's a very good person, from what we gathered.
Very humble too.
Very, very humble human being. Exactly. This is not the JT that we know. This is how these agents are getting into these kids' heads, and it pisses me off. It really does. I mean, for him doing that and running his mouth on Twitter to an owner who has fuck you money anyway, it's just a piece of fucking shit in my eyes.
Okay. Well, we might have to bring out the little beep beep buttons for all the kids that might watch this with their parents. Beep 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 on that last.
I mean, I apologize, but
beep beep. Beep 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 beep. So I guess where I was going with this is I think this is what we got to do as fans. We got to do better than this. Okay, and I know we can't wait to get the Twitter fingers and go bananas. So we have to, first off, don't tell nobody to shut up and play. We don't do that. It's just, I know you signed contracts and all that, and everybody's analogy about like, hey, you wouldn't stay at a job, and those analogies are silly. We're talking about people who make millions of dollars, but we also talking about people who play a game too, right? So, and then ultimately, we're talking about money that are not ours. So here's the key, right? If you're going to speak on that, try to remove the emotion, because I'll tell you what. Looking at how those dudes, the running back core, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, you don't get paid." Oh, I'm sorry, you don't pay a player that's not going to secure a Super Bowl. But it's a team sport, so to me, that's a silly point of view. If you have a quarterback that has no running game, the first thing you'll say is, "Oh, we need a running game." So when you got a running game and you got a running back that's a difference maker, he's just as important as the quarterback when it comes to did we win a Super Bowl or not.
Absolutely.
Now, people were like, well, during the time that JT has been here, we haven't won a Super Bowl and blah, 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 blah. Well, we also had a team that wasn't as good as we thought. We'll be the first to admit that. So all of a sudden now, fans will turn their back on. I haven't seen any burned jerseys yet. Oh, Lord forbid if he gets traded, then we'll start seeing dumpster fires. You know how that goes.
I've heard the threats.
Yeah. But it's just
heard the threats.
We have to stop being so damn emotional. Like it's us, right? Like I don't know what his situation is, and so I had to reserve myself tonight. And I'm glad we took some days before we shot this episode, because initially I was like, JT, come on, bro. Like, because think about this, man. 2 years ago, it was Shaq, right? It didn't get nowhere like this, but it was Shaq. Like, hey, I'm trying to get paid, and was he gonna get paid? Was he not gonna get paid right then? Blah blah blah. Then last year, very openly, it was Kenny Moore. I was like, what is going on? Like, remember Kenny Moore was like pissed, bro. Like he was like, oh, same little Twitter type stuff. Nothing as deep as what they've done yet. But he had his moment. They didn't end up giving him any more money, and then he played. And now this year, we coming into everything thinking, man, we got a quarterback. We got the probably 1A, 1B running back in the league. We think this wide receiver core and tight end core can be great. Now our fucking running back is like, I don't want to play. So I don't know what's going on with him. His reasons could be his very own, but $5.1 million is a lot of money, but it's still not my money to pay. It's not my money to spend. And I can't say you can use all the metrics and stats you want. With inflation and the way things are going up and the way this league gets paid each and every year, every other position is winning except for the running back room. And I get it. They got this collective bargaining agreement and all this other shit, but you can change certain things. And sometimes you need to change those things because they are important. I was just thinking, like, wonder if every running back was like, F you, like all of them. And then you start having to like roster dudes that played running back 8 years ago in D2. That'd be crazy. I don't think that ever happened.
Like the stat somebody put out that Gardner Minshew has the most runs on the team right now.
Yeah.
With 117 runs. And Deion Jackson's like the second closest to like 64 or something.
But I tell you what, look, when something goes wrong, it goes wrong for the Colts, because now running back 2 broke an arm. So it's like running back 1, he wants money. Running back 2 needs the hospital. And now the running back room is just shambles. Like, man. So that's kind of where I am with the whole JT thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I was frustrated. I wasn't like cursing, pissed off, but I was frustrated. And I think, and you know, one thing I will disagree. I don't like to point blame, especially when I don't know all the ends. But what I will say is this: like, our opinionated owner speaks like an opinionated owner, and sometimes it's too carefree. Like, you know what I mean? So none of the other owners said anything. Why you got to say something? Like, have closed door meetings with the other owners and say, "What do you think about this?"
To give credit to Big Jim, he was talking about, when he made that tweet, he wasn't talking about JT. He wasn't talking about his agent. He was talking about the CBA.
I get that, but
and
why
then
do
they
you do that? See? You can't give me a reason for that. Other
I
than
can.
world and
He's got the First Amendment,
I
freedom
mean,
of free speech.
and that's what I'm saying. But
fine.
but our very opinionated owner is what helped get Dan Snyder out of Washington. Also, that fucking motherfucker.
Well, that was everybody though. I mean, come on now. They all
But Jim had the balls to speak up and say something.
yeah, other owners did too. I'm not
Yeah,
discrediting Jim, but I'm just saying, like, bro, like and then even his okay. What about make sense of the second reply when he was like, "If I die tonight and JT's out the league, like nobody remembers us." What are we talking about? I don't even understand what does that mean. That's random. Stop going on Twitter, man. Just stop.
Well, that you're gonna have to watch Pat McAfee's show for, because he does a series. What is Jim Irsay saying? And he actually goes in and breaks down what the hell this man is thinking, or tries to break it down.
He puts an analytics on Jim Irsay's tweets.
Some of that shit, man. I don't know. Like, man, I don't know, bro. So for that, I'll just leave that be. Right? Again, I'm not that fan that's pointing fingers, but I would really wish in the future anything that is anything with Colts players or anything that's just a hot button, Mr. Irsay. Comment behind closed doors, man. Talk to your friends, the other 31 owners. Y'all, I'm sure y'all got a group chat where y'all talking shit. Do whatever. I don't give a shit. Just go on Twitter.
God, I'd love to be in that group chat.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
Nah, well, I don't know. It'd probably be some wild shit. Because when Kraft got in trouble down in Florida, they was probably, hey man, what the fuck have you got going? Let me chill out.
If one of us gets busted, we all get busted. Damn
I was gonna say they're probably like, better you than me, Robert.
Or Dan Snyder. They were probably in that shit like, bro, what was y'all doing in Washington? Jesus Christ. We gotta
They
fire
called me the worst owner of the NFL.
We gotta fire him.
I just feel like Dan Snyder was like that one owner that was like that kid everybody picked on in school and was just shoved in lockers. I mean, I feel like that's what the other owners did to that man because no one liked him.
Well, I mean, he was just a bad human, bro.
He's
just who am I to judge? But
believe me, I have my own opinion about Dan Snyder and the whole Redskin Native American debacle, but that's another discussion.
Okay, and then that's probably where we're gonna wrap this one up. But no, look, in all seriousness, man, we appreciate everybody that gives us a listen and a like. I can't tell you how many times people have shared our stuff. Shout out to Becca. Becca went to practice on Sunday. She wore her Anvil shirt, and people were asking, hey, are the guys here today? That's an amazing feeling. That's incredible. So, Becca, appreciate that.
Absolutely amazing.
Dan, the man, appreciate you. They came out and hung out with us that day. Of course, Mrs. Sarah Acosta, lovely wife. So we appreciate you coming out as well, ma'am. She is what keeps us together. So we really appreciate what Sarah does. So yeah, our Anvil family is growing. The Forge tailgate is almost ready to launch. We're about a month out. Can't wait for it. So yeah, we got a lot of great things coming.
Speaking of that, I know we only have one preseason game this year, but I promised Miss Rebecca, since she's bringing a special kid in her heart with her, I think it was her. Is it her grandson?
I think it's her grandson. Yeah.
She's bringing her grandson to his very first NFL game, and I told her for him to get the full experience, we're gonna go ahead and put on a full tailgate for him. So, if y'all in the area at the game, you want to come hang out at the tailgate, we're just gonna have a small get together. To swing on by and say hi.
Yes, sir. I will also be sending those tickets to you, Becca. I'm sorry. I have been drinking for 4 days straight. But that's neither here nor there. Last thing I want to say before we get out of here. So if you see things like this is our sick gear. Casa has his on. We gave Chris Ballard one. Also, we posted the link for our actual growing merch that will be on the Sick site. So I'm sorry I don't have that link in front of me, but if you go to our Facebook,
if you go to the website, is if you want our specific Sick merch, it is sickattire.com.
Boom. There you go. And you click on the Anvil Show. You see merch. Right now we got 3 shirts, but who knows? By the end of the year, we might have 10. Just depends. So we have an Omaha, we have a Bang It with our logo, and then we have the official tailgate shirt that says the Forge, home of the Anvil Shot. So things are coming. Things are happening. It's great to be the Anvil. Any closing remarks, boys? Going once, going twice.
Football's here,
Jimmy.
baby. Let's get ready to rumble.
What?
I'm not Carve, okay? I'm sorry.
You don't get to say nothing on the boy. Sammy, get us the hell out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.